and gentlemen, ready for countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Man, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Ooh.
These go to 11.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
And here we are at round 12 of the Southern Thunder Truck Series at the iconic Kentucky Motor Speedway. I am your lead commentator for tonight, James Watson, with my broadcast partner, Paul Jackson, and of course, Kobe Jordan in the background pressing the buttons. First, gonna start it off with, how you doing, Paul? It's a bit of a change up for what Inside Lane Productions are usually used to, with you being lead and me being off in the background talking about God knows what.
Yeah, doing all right tonight, thanks, James, and good to be here on a Friday night. So, hopefully, with some good hard truck racing, got a little bit of a smaller field than what I'm used to seeing. So, yeah, obviously, I started off in this season as a racer and had to drop out with some other things going on. But yeah, look forward to joining you tonight and see how Kentucky goes.
Yes, sir, and tonight's gonna prove a really interesting challenge for our drivers. Now we're gonna go ahead and cut to our race picks for tonight. Oh, whoops. Keys to the race, my bad. Alright, first key, corner entry discipline. This is a big one. Kentucky is unlike any mile and a half you will come across. It is much flatter, so you really got to be careful on the lines that you take into the corner. You really got to work the throttle, work the trail brake, and make sure you're not scrubbing too much speed off on corner exit, especially going into turn 3. Key 2, lane selection in clean air. Because this track is so flat, dirty air is going to be much more significant than your typical mile and a halves of Vegas, Kansas, and so on. So you really got to make sure that you're able to work some of the other lanes and get yourself as much clean air as possible. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a rough night. And the final key, long run tire management. This place is not easy on your good years. It will completely eviscerate that right front tire if you're not careful. Thankfully, we will be having a night race tonight, so it's going to help that tire management just a bit, but you still got to be conscientious and focus on your saving as much as possible. All right, and here are your point standings so far. Brad Newman continues to lead 90 points over Ruben Phelps in second. Then you got Lockie Urquizio in third, Matty Raymond in fourth, Brian Blundell rounding out the top 5 with Andy Barber in sixth, Mark Grocott in seventh, Ryan Barber in eighth, Brad in ninth, and Jason Holdsworth in 10th. Well, practice is just about ending for tonight, so here we are on the verge of qualifications for tonight's event at Kentucky. And now I think it might be a good time to go over our race picks for tonight's event. So we'll go ahead and start it off with you, Paul. Who are you picking for tonight's win?
Well, I haven't really been following the series too closely, but just sort of based my pick off who I've raced against in the past and who I know can have some pretty good results. And tonight I went with Lachlan Urquia. So hopefully we'll bring the chockies home and I can go a back-to-back pick tonight from Oz Ovals.
Alrighty, and Kobe, who is your pick tonight?
Tonight my pick will be Ruben Phelps. He's a fast little Kiwi and a win is definitely within his skill set. So Ruben Phelps is going to be my one to watch out for.
All right, and my pick, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Instead of going the chalk pick and choosing our points leader, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Andy Barber for tonight. Andy, if you've been watching the Oz Ovals series here on Inside Lane Productions, you know that Andy's been tearing it up the last couple months, honestly. So, and he's had some real good runs in his limited starts here in Southern Thunder. So, I think Andy is going to be one to watch, especially with this being a tire conservation race and the senior barber being real good at keeping his good years underneath him. All right, and so far, Shane Bowen, top of the charts with a 30 flat. Good lap for him so far. So we're just about nearly halfway through qualifying right now. Ben Henniger getting close to that 38 with a 30 flat of his own. 82, Jason Tyerman finishing his second lap. It does not look like he improves on that. And here's our point leader, Brad Newman, pulling off a pit road for his lap. Shane Bowen goes even faster, 29.931. That's a cracker of a lap right there. Colin Bennett also breaks into the 29s at a 29.982. See a few more times trickling in so far. Ryan Barber 4th, Blocky Urquijo 5th. Ruben Phelps only a 32.3 on his opening lap.
Well, that's definitely leaving the fast lap for the last lap.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get a bit of heat into those tyres on the out lap and try and go for that fast one on the last lap.
Yeah, we'll see how it works for him. Andy Barber up to P2.
And that was on the first lap too for Andy Barber, so see if he can go on his second lap.
Yeah, that means that 5 might have a heater if that's his first lap. So far, Shane Bowen continues to hold provisional pole. Brad Newman about to complete his second and final qualifying lap off of turn 4. New quick time! Brad Newman top of the charts with a 29.851. Oh, a massive lap for our points leader. We are under 50 seconds now remaining. Waiting. Wow. Andy Barber does not go faster on his second lap. He will stay at 5th. New quick time again. Jason Holdsworth, 29.789. Wow. That is serious pace from that 8 truck. Well, on that bombshell, it's time to get a little commercial break, so we're going to take a breath and take a break, and we'll be back soon.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
And we are back, and we are getting the field to a grid. In the meantime, we want to encourage all the folks watching at home in the chat, give us your picks for tonight. Who do you think's going to win? As everyone's getting out on track, here is our starting lineup. The front row for tonight, Jason Holdsworth in the 8 and Brad Newman in 33rd. On row 2, we have Shane Bowen in the 38 and Andy Barber in 4th. Row 3 features Colin Bennett and Ben Henniker. I think that's Colin's best qualifying effort in Southern Thunder. A fantastic lap from the 242. Row 4, you got Matty Raymond and Ryan Barber. Rounding out the top 10 is Lockie Urquijo in the 42 and Jason Tyerman in the 82. Row 6 features Ruben Phelps in the 06 and Matt Patton in the 58. And on the, I believe the last row, we got Brian Blundell in the 86 and Peter Jones in the 66. Okay, got a couple more. Mark Brocott and Brad Wright in 15th and 16th for tonight's race. And then, hey, if you're out there as one of the drivers, send us in a photo so we can put you on the broadcast. So Matty Raymond isn't the only bloke we got showing his face on this broadcast.
I mean, everyone just hasn't taken their helmets off. So when they take their helmets off for their photos, then we'll get some more mug shots, won't we?
Yeah, I guess everyone's too focused on being race ready right now. Speaking of race ready, everyone's making their way onto the track. We are 1 to green for 140 laps at the Kentucky Speedway. So this is going to be one heck of a restart. Passing is going to be at a premium tonight, so everyone's going to try to make hay while the sun... Well, the sun's not shining tonight, but everyone gets the point. So apparently Ryan Barber might have left his qualifying set in. So I'm not sure if you can change qualifying tape out on pit road. So we might have one less. But the pace car makes a hard left-hand turn on a pit road. Jason Holdsworth will lead us to the restart zone. Green means go. We're underway at Kentucky. Good jump from Holdsworth. Newman is just gonna tuck in right behind. See, I think a few trucks started in the pit lane, so that's a interesting strategy. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Ryan Barber got back and changed his setup. So that is huge for Ryan Barber now that he can actually run more than 3 laps without grenading the engine. Oh, someone big sideways off of 4. I think that was Colin Bennett. Great job to hold on to that truck. As everyone is now starting to line up, trying to get past that 242 as he's trying to get back up to race pace. See Urquijo going by and Phelps following him on the outside. I think we're going to see a lot of moves there up in that middle lane there, Paul.
Yeah, definitely going to want to look after those tyres. So, you know, I think, you know, as you can see, there's a little bit of fanning out further back on the grid, almost 4 wide, 5 wide.
Oh!
Yeah, I think Colin... contact there, but yeah, those lines are going to light up a bit tonight.
Yeah, it's just going to be, like we touched on at the beginning of the show, just trying to find that clean air where you can. It's not going to be easy with the banking and the way this track is set up. You don't have a whole heck of a lot of lanes that are going to be usable. You know, you can get away with the first 2 lanes, maybe the 3rd lane, but that's kind of it. So it's going to be hard getting that clean air. You know, running that extreme 3rd line won't really work all that well with these trucks with the lower horsepower and the high drag of, you know, it being a truck trying to go fast.
Well, Jason Holdsworth was almost pushing out to half a second gap over Brad Newman there. So looks like he's got a pretty quick setup in the truck tonight. I believe he only made that setup with 5 minutes to go when he jumped in. So be interesting to see how that truck will hold up through the long term of the race.
Yeah, and that's always the question, the long run pace. It's one thing to be fast in a few laps here at Kentucky, but getting these tires to last a whole fuel run or a whole stint, that's something else entirely. You know, like I said, the cooler temps in the nighttime is gonna help, but that's not the end all be all when it comes to this place. So you see the 19 trying to get around the 242. Colin Bennett, a fantastic qualifying effort, but so far he's starting to kind of drop down the running order, unfortunately.
Maybe he was pretty happy with that qualifying time, and he's just happy to drop back and look after those tyres. See what ground he can make up. It's a long race there, 140 laps, and we're only lap 7 into the race.
Yeah, this is gonna be practically an endurance race at this point, so it's gonna set apart these drivers and who can keep that speed underneath them. So far, Brad Newman's starting to reel in our race leader. He's just about 2.5 tenths off of the 8. Shane Bowen I think that's his best qualifying effort of the year. You know, talking about Colin Bennett, that was a fantastic qualifying lap from Shane Bowen to put it third on the grid. And he's holding steady. He's got that 5 truck behind him, but Andy Barber not super duper close to the 38.
Just watching a little battle going on with Ruben Phelps. Just got round Ben Hennick, and Matt Padden was trying to get round the inside as well, but had the door shut on him. So a little bit of hard racing there, a bit further back. Padden down on the apron there, trying to get a good run, but going to fall off of that. A little bit bumpy down there.
Yeah, even with the repave version that we're on, there's still a fair amount of character into this track as Patton's trying to move again side by side with Henniker, and he's not going to clear. They're still going to be side by side off of turn 4. Henniker rolling that middle line well. He's got a lot of momentum, but once again, Patton's going to stick on that inside, and he's going to clear the pass effortlessly. It's a lot easier to defend in the middle of 3 and 4, but you get into 1 and 2, and that inside line just seems to be just a lot better of a line to be in, and you can't quite fight the pass there like you can at the other end of the track.
Henniker's coming under fire with Blundell now making a run, trying to get around him as well. But, just fell off that and Brad right up on the higher side of the track. So good to see little battles going on throughout the race. But Brad Newman here contesting for the front for the lead of the race with Jason Holdsworth.
Yeah, speaking of battles, we got a battle for the lead. He got some good positioning off on Holdsworth there in 3 and 4, but Holdsworth able to fight him off. He's holding serve, just keeping about half a car length back to that 33 truck. But Newman looking to the inside. Holdsworth is gonna shut the door a little bit. Newman's gonna have to change his tactics. He looks to the outside, but he's still gonna be behind. And they're starting to pull away from Shane Bowen. They managed to pull. Actually, they're keeping the same gap while trying to fight for this lead, which is not what you want to see for Shane Bowen.
You can see the last lap times there, 30 flat, 30.9 I should say, not a flat for Jason Holdsworth, and Brad Newman 31.0, so quick times there. Even Matty Ray into the 39s on the last lap too. So Matty Ray putting out some numbers.
Yeah, Matty Ray doing Matty Ray things, you know. He always likes to start middle on back and then just work his way up. And before you know it, you're like, hey, where did that 83 come from? So the fight for the lead continues to rage on. They still pulled a second back to Shane Bowen, who's starting to drop Andy Barber a little bit, as Barber's going to have his hands full with Matty Raymond.
A bit further back, Matt Padden bouncing off the wall was getting a bit of a run on Ruben Phelps, but just lost a bit of that now with a bit of contact with the wall.
And there goes Raymond. He's to the inside of Barber, and he's going to make that pass pretty cleanly. And Urquijo looking to follow him through, but Barber's going to keep momentum and keep the 42 behind. Lucky turning down, getting a little bit of air on that nose. That's going to help him through the corner. Now he's got a great run on the 5. They're side by side. And Barber, he's trying, but he's not going to hold. And move the 42 up a spot up into the top 5.
Yeah, that was a nice setup move there from Lockie to get that pass done.
Yeah, curious.
Matty Ray's looking at the rear bumper of Shane Bowen now as well, looking to make himself into that podium spot in the top 3.
Yeah, Bowen running a little higher line, forcing Raymond to go high. And Matty's going to have a fantastic run on off of turn 2, and he's looking to the inside of the 38. Bowen going to power around the outside. He's rolling that third line well. Raymond making some great time on the inside. Matty's going to have help from his teammate. Urquijo going to push Raymond through to P3. And he's going to try to follow him and ship that 38 back to P5. Oh, and here comes Bowen hanging on the outside. Oh, and he tried to... I don't know if he tried to pull the crossover or what, but he tried to fit in between those SRM trucks, and it almost ended in tears for everyone. Bowen having to make an evasive maneuver, and now that 42 is going to get behind him, moving to P4. Meanwhile, that cost them a lot of time up to the lead duo. That cost them almost a second. So we're going to see how much pace those SRM trucks have as they're going to try to run down these lead duo.
Justin Tillman and Brian Blundell now in a bit of a spot there as Colin Bennett's looking to make his move through as well and follow his teammate Jason through, but that door just shut off by Blundell.
Oh, and here we have side by side the SRM teammates. Urquijo trying to get by Raymond. It's been a good run of form for Urquijo. One at Gateway, one at IRP, trying to see if he can keep the gravy train rolling. But so far, they're going to have to find a good chunk of pace to run down that 8-truck. Holdsworth is still leading, and he's even adding to his lead over Newman. Got that lead to half a second over the points leader. As Urquijo's going to make it around Raymond, 42 in P3. That's further back in the pack. Patton battling with Tyreman.
Well, up 24, 140, so looking at almost halfway into a fuel run here on what we sort of predicted. So guys will be getting a little bit looser in the rear with that drop in fuel load.
Yeah, we did get some numbers fuel-wise, and looking about potentially 50 laps on a tank. And these are actual numbers that we've got, not just me talking out of my hindquarter region like I usually tend to when it comes to strategy calls. So we're still going to have a decent amount of time before everyone starts hitting pit road. So the 73 and the 242 are having a spirited battle as Phelps gets by Andy Barber. Man, Barber not making the pace I think we would have expected going into tonight. You wonder if he is just kind of trying to save tire. You know, we've seen him at other tire conservation races just be absolute lights out on stretching his rubber. Oh, I think Grocott got the wall off of turn 2. It's going to give Bennett the opportunity to try to get back by that 73.
Maybe Andy Barber's not used to having a back seat in his race car. Going from the supercars, he's pretty quick into the trucks.
Yeah, you think he'd be relieved not having a back seat because he doesn't have to deal with Junior yelling all the time. Boom, Ryan Barber joke. Oh, Ryan's gonna hate me. Anyways, we got Brad Wright bringing it down pit road. This is very much an unscheduled stop.
He can leave the car seat in his V8 supercar and doesn't have to transfer it over to his truck.
Yeah, you think you'd be doing better not having to worry about that, but yeah, running P7 so far. As we saw Phelps get around the 38, you got the whole SRM infiltrating the top 5 here. Holdsworth has got 1 second over Brad Newman. That 8 truck is absolutely flying in the clean air. So we see this battle continues to rage on. These four are fighting tooth and nail for this final spot in the top 10.
So Shane Barnes slowly falling back to the clutches of Andy Barber as well at the moment. So we start off in that top sort of 3 running and slowly falling down the field.
Yeah, he just seems to be struggling a bit on his tires as we're past the halfway point in this run. So it looks like the 38 might be hoping for some cautions here to get some short runs so that 38 can open her back up again.
There we go, Andy Barber looking at that inside, setting himself up through the corner.
They're side by side. Oh, Patton bringing it down pit road. As they're side by side, oh, they're getting close. Oh, and they make a little bit of contact off of turn 4. A little bit of right side romance for the 5 and the 38. Bowen edging forward. Barber trying to send it in there, trying to get that run on the inside lane. I said the thing. Name of the channel.
I was waiting
and
for
Barber,
Inside Lane Productions.
Barber not quite. He's pushing up. Bowen still hanging on that quarter panel. Bowen, he's got half a truck length over Barber, making that high line work. There's enough life in those tires to hold that 5 at bay. think Barber might have slipped just a little bit off of turn 2, which is really gonna... Oh, and that was a big slide for Andy Barber. That thing slid up a lane, and that's gonna allow Bowen to clear. Fantastic defense from the 38, holding off Andy Barber.
Yeah, it's been pretty good hard racing there, and Robin's racing, so Andy Barber's going to have to let his tyres cool off a little bit, try and catch that draft again in behind Bowen, try and get his run set up and see if he can make another pass.
Meanwhile, our pitters, Brad Wright, down 7 laps, and Matt Patton has just retired from the race, so don't know what happened to those 2 trucks. Unfortunate. Looks like Wright is still maybe trying to keep going, but whatever happened with Matt Patton is unfortunately terminal for that 58 truck. And in the excitement of this battle, Phelps getting past Matty Raymond for 4th, as Urquijo starting to run down the lead duo a tiny bit. He's cut about 4/10 off of that gap now that he has a little bit of clean air of his own, as Holdsworth continues to drop Brad Newman, now 1.5 seconds clear of the field.
Well, that 1.5 seconds slowly dropping as well there. Trying to hang on to it, but was slowly dropping, and then he sort of pulled it back out again. So through the corners, looks like that that time's dropping a little bit, but he's got the speed down the straights a little bit to stretch it back out.
Yeah, just a little bit of ebb and flow. Makes you wonder when Newman is going to pit. As we're well aware, that 33 loves his undercuts, so I think we can bank on him being the first to pit road here, especially trying to close that gap to Holdsworth and maybe try to pip the lead off of him on pit road.
Well, pit road's the one place that they'll be able to try and make up those valuable seconds and get a good pit entry, pit stop, leaving pit lane. So if they can nail that, they'll be able to try and cut some time off Holdsworth.
Yeah, the easiest place to make it pass is in pit road. As this gap is closing up. It's about half a second from the 33 to the 42. And while this is tightening up, that Bowen and Barber battle, that's starting to heat up again. Barber closing back in on that 38. And Bowen's teammate Ben Henniker is also starting to move his way onto the scene. He's within a second, and he's brought that essentially that entire battle for P10 with them. They're not far behind us. Here comes Barber looking to the inside of the 38. Oh, they're going to be close again. Barber really liking that middle line there in 3 and 4. Side by side off of 4. Andy Barber getting close, getting that nose out in front. Going with the side draft. They equal up. Barber, he's half a truck ahead. He's almost clear. Oh, maybe. And he is. Andy Barber will clear the 38 up into P6. Oh, Barber's been working on that for a long time, and he finally clears that 38. And now Bowen's got to worry about his teammate, Ben Henniker, right behind him now, and Jason Tyerman closing in as well. Meanwhile, the Urquijo-Newman gap, they are within about a quarter second. That 42 has been putting in some pretty good lap times over the last 10 laps of this stint. Got some good pace in that Silverado as we're approaching the end of this first stint. I'd say we're about, what do you say, Paul, another 8 laps or so until we see these trucks bringing it down?
Probably so, yeah. Probably looking at that lap 50 mark, so don't know if anyone will be able to stretch much further than that. Maybe another 1 or 2 laps on that if they're lucky.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, I think Newman might have got a little loose there. So I saw a lot more of that Falcon painted 33 truck. And here comes Urquijo. Look into the inside of Newman. Newman going way high, trying to maximize the momentum. Urquijo's got good speed on the inside. He will seal the deal. Urquijo up into P2. Newman looking to the inside, trying to see if he can pull a crossover. But nothing doing. Oh, and Newman's bringing it down into pit road. Wow, we know he's the undercut king, but oh man, that's a bit early even for him. But hey, he's good to go fuel-wise, so we'll see what that does for that 33. As Urquijo up into P2 and trying to see if he can cut some of Holdsworth's lead out as they get ready to make their stops.
Definitely, that was a good little cheeky pit stop there from Newman, using the draft right on the back of Urquijo, and then sudden peel off there to get that undercut, see if he can pull that one off, so he didn't lose a lot of time coming into pit road there.
Yeah, good heads-up driving from Newman, being able to kind of change his strategy on the fly and take the opportunity to pit mid-battle with Urquijo, as this battle is really heating up. Got Team Cobalt versus Platinum. Tireman side by side with Henniker as Bowen goes way wide. He's going to lose a spot to Tireman and about to lose a spot to his teammate as Bennett's looking to make it 3 wide. Bowen will clear Henniker. Or excuse me, Henniker's going to clear Bowen. My mistake. And Shane Bowen has fallen all the way to the end of this battle now. Bowen started P3 and he's down to P9. This opening stint of the race has not been kind to Shane Bowen. Those Goodyears have to be screaming right now. So you see another truck on pit road, Ryan Barber. Ryan Barber praying for a caution, but I don't think he's praying right now. So we see another
Peter
one
Jones,
coming in. Looks like Peter Jones, yep, 66. Bringing it down for his first stop. And there's the call. Race leader is going to be bringing it down this lap. Let's see, will anyone follow him down? Sounds like the 5 will be joining him. Phelps staying out. Urquijo's bringing it down in. Matty Raymond also staying out. Brian Blundell has also pitted. So far, so good for our competitors. No black flags, no no-nos bringing it down to pit road. Barber clean into his box. And here comes the rest of SRM. Phelps and Raymond bringing it down. And Jason Tireman staying out. He will take over the lead of this race. Colin Bennett and Ben Henniker also going long. And there's the call. Tireman in. Holdsworth off. Urquijo's off.
So we'll see if we can get those pit times up on screen there, because that looked like a pretty quick stop for Urquio there. I just wanted to check the difference, but
Actually,
tenth
a bit
faster there for Holdsworth. So
Yeah.
Newman, a pretty quick time on that pit stop on his own.
Yeah, that undercut looks like bought him total of 5 seconds over Holdsworth. He was 2 seconds behind. Now he's 3 seconds ahead. As Platinum stopping their box, so far so good. Clean stop for all of them. And Urquiza looks like he lost a little ground to Holdsworth. Actually, I'd say that's right around where they were, about 2.2, 2.3 seconds back. So I'd say pretty even. So we'll see what that 42 has now that he's going to have a run where he didn't have to worry about making his way through the field. See if he can make any inroads on Holdsworth, as Holdsworth is making inroads on Brad Newman. Already chopped a couple tenths off of the lead of 33.
Well, that undercut definitely worked out in Newman's favour there, getting the jump on Holdsworth, but Holdsworth will have those slightly fresher tyres as well by a couple of laps.
Yes, sir. Say it all the time. Overcut is OP.
I mean, when you've got a couple of seconds lead on the pack, you can afford to pull off that overcut. Whereas when you're on the back foot trying to chase, and you look at that undercut rather than losing more time, see if that can work to an advantage as well.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta roll the dice. As Larry Mack said, if you're gonna follow the leader, you're gonna follow the leader. So gotta try something different and hope it works out. If it doesn't, hey, right back where I was anyways. Well, as we've completed the first round of stops for tonight, I think it's time we take our first commercial break of the evening. So we're gonna take a breath, take a break, and we'll be back.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Alrighty, and we are back, and we have a mid-race interview with the one, the only Matty Raymond, the only one that's given us a photo so far to use. Matty, how's the race going so far?
Yeah, good mate. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there. So far, so good. Obviously, it was a bit farther down the field than I think we would have expected, but so far you and the boys are having a good recovery here, picking off a lot of spots up in the first few laps.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm struggling a bit. It's, truck's a little bit tighter than I'd like, so I might chuck a bit more on the perch next pit stop and hope for the best. But yeah, Lockie and Ruby are doing pretty good. I reckon. Lockie might have something for these boys.
Oh. Yeah, don't worry, no one saw that.
Oh, good. Just making sure it's still there. Doesn't fall down.
Yeah, nope, we certainly weren't on you as you did it. But anyways, so what are you looking at pit strategy-wise? Obviously, you're still a bit far out. Got any tricks up your sleeve to try to get a little bit more time back in your favor?
I did, mate, to be honest, but I don't really know. I guess plan is just to run it out, run this tank out, get it down to empty as close as I can, and that'll be short enough on fuel that as soon as my tyres get done, I'll be out the box on the last stop and hopefully save a bit then. But as for pace, I think we're on par with the front guys, but just missing a little bit. But we'll see what we can do on the perches and make some adjustments, maybe even make an air pressure adjustment. We'll see how it pans out over the next sort of 30-40 laps.
Alrighty, well, best of luck the rest of the race, Matty, and we'll see if we're talking to you again at the end of the night.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, with a bit of luck, I'll be up in the booth, but we'll see.
Alright, there's the 83 of Matty Raymond, and while we were talking to him, you saw it, Jason Oldsworth speeds past the 33 of Brad Newman, back into the lead of this race. Crucial move for the 8, was able to get by the 33 pretty quickly, able to use those fresher tires to perfection. And now he's just going to focus on trying to drive away as best as he can.
It's about almost 20 laps now since they pitted, and that's about how long it took for them to run down Newman. So around that 18 lap mark. So Lachlan Quesia back there. We'll see if he can now run down Newman as well with that undercut.
Yeah, that's why if I'm Brad Newman, I would have rather kind of waited to do the extreme undercut, because if pitting at around, lap 50, like a lot of them are, it's a 140 lap race. So if you pit 50 and 50, give or take, you're going to have only a 40 lap stint left. So you try to wait, pit with the rest of them, stay close, and then try to go for that serious overcut in the undercut in that final stop. and have your competition have less laps to try to get back by you.
Well, we're at that halfway mark now of the race, and Holdsworth's definitely not looking back. So if Lockie can get that move done on Newman soon, then he's still got that hard task of trying to chase down Holdsworth, who's just slowly pulling away still.
Yeah, Holdsworth has actually been able to put about half a second on your Quijou in the last few laps, as Ryan Barber and the 242 of Colin Bennett are side by side. Oh, Ryan looking for the side draft. It's a fantastic recovery for Ryan Barber. We talked about it early. He had to make a pit lane start because he forgot to throw in the race set. But he's up here in the top 10 and trying to battle for P9. Got some serious pace in that 05 truck, trying to get something if we don't get a caution, which hard to say if we're going to get a caution at this rate.
Well, I mean, the only way you'll get a caution now, I think, is if some side-by-side drafting goes wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, Barber not able to pull out the pass. Bennett's going to pull him and get back ahead of that 05. And while that happened, your Quijou gets by Brad Newman. We got a replay of the pass for P2. Quijou right on the 33, and looks like Lockie's gonna hang the outside and get a massive run on the corner, drop down to the inside of the 33. It's just gonna use all that pace from the high side to just power by the 33. Maybe a bit of a business decision from Newman. Didn't really fight it as much as you maybe would have thought.
Well,
So the
now he's got
42
his sights on Holdsworth once again, but again, 3.5 seconds now. He's got to try and chase down.
Yeah, I lost a bit of time with that battle with Newman. So it's hanging right at 3.5. So Quijou did have some good pace towards the end of that last run. But he's going to have to find a lot to run down that 8.
Phelps about a second back from Newman now, looking to try and close that gap up and work his way into the podium spots.
So he's got a truck on pit road. Is that it's like Brad Wright again?
Oops. Could be a bloody engine there.
Did he? I think he might have. I think he might have left the truck running too long, and the microwave just popped. Yeah, popcorn's done, and so is the engine of that Chevrolet.
Running out of oil.
It go boom. Truck go boom. Well, segueing from that riveting and very profound bit of commentary from me, we're going to focus back on this battle. I believe it's Bowen and Tyreman battling for P7. Tyreman crafting up on the 38. Shane still hold and serve. Tyreman not quite close enough to send any sort of move right now. So we see another battle. Ryan Barber on Ben Henniker. Whoa, big sideways from Barber. Oh my goodness. He was nearly the caution he wanted. Oh man, Ryan Barber was like, please, I need a caution. almost got monkey paw curling right there.
I mean, that's one way to bring out a caution. Do it yourself.
Be the change you want to see in the world. Oh, now he's going to try to have to make up all that ground on the 213 once again.
Heard a truck blow, but I'm guessing that's the one that was in pit lane. Finally went boom.
Yeah, maybe it went the further boom. The little piston that could finally gave up. And that battle was actually for the last spot in the top 10 between Barber and Henniker. Bennett was actually able to drop the 0-5. He's about 3 seconds ahead of that battle between Henniker and Barber. So Colin Bennett starting to find a little bit of extra pace in the midpoint of this run.
It's Blundell in the pit lane as well at the moment.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's a scheduled stop either. Yeah, it's so weird to bring it down this early. Yeah. And here comes Phelps trying to take over P3 from Brad Newman. It's going to be an important move for Phelps' championship hopes. 90 behind in P2 coming into tonight's race. Yeah, this is what I was worried about with Brad Newman's strategy, because it leaves him vulnerable to everyone now. Like, in the first run, he was able to maintain P2 fairly easily, and now, given himself that tire disadvantage, now he's might be losing the podium. Phelps continues to stalk Newman as Tyreman and Bowen are side by side in the back. Tyreman trying to get something working on the inside as Brian Blundell on fresh tires lurks behind. He wants to get by. Oh! Tyreman running about a lane up on entry. Oh, what's Blundell gonna do? Oh! There's contact! What a save by Bowen! Oh my goodness, I have no idea how he held on to that 38 truck. And
Well,
Jason
that was
Tyreman,
almost another caution come out, wasn't it?
yeah, Jason Tyreman was about to give the position back, and Shane Bowen was like, nah, man, don't give him back. It was just racing. So, good play from both guys. Yeah, you don't get a lot in a lot of iRacing series leagues, whether it's officials leagues or what have you. So, you know, it's nice to get these moments. Big ups to both guys.
You know, it's very rare you'll see that being redressed unless you got live race control.
Yeah, and without either party screaming at each other too. As Newman's starting to find a bit of a second win here, he's started to pull away from Phelps again. About almost 3/4 of a second now. As you reckon,
that's that strategy, maybe just trying to let the tyres cool down a little bit to get that extra pace out of them.
Maybe. And well, while this is going on, we're gonna give a quick little shout out to Team Watson Racing Setups. Use code WATSPIN39 for 10% off at checkout. As we get back to the action, I feel like Brad Newman is probably going to be bringing it down within the next few laps. He brought it down around lap 44 or 45 for his first stop, so if he's consistent, I think we'll be seeing in that 33 bringing it down for his final stop of the night.
Well, I think if I was Brad, I'd probably stay out there about another 5 laps. So probably look at that 93, 94 mark to run that out rather than trying to go for another undercut.
Yeah, and you wonder if he's starting to just push a little bit harder now that he's at the tail end of his fuel stint. Just try to get himself a little bit of a gap to the trucks behind, knowing that he's not going to have to keep these tires on for much longer. As Holdsworth is continuing to leg it out. It's now 4.5 seconds over your Quijo. So Jason Holdsworth in cruise control tonight at Kentucky. Yeah, I think Phelps himself might be struggling a little bit because now Matty Raymond is starting to inch closer to the 06.
We're about due for our round 2 pit stops coming up, so we'll see if anyone's going to make any mistakes this time round, or if everyone's going to have that solid pit stop in round 1.
Yeah, maybe get a little bit of false sense of security, push it a little too hard, and cop yourself a no-no flag. As Shane Bowen has not fallen off of the 82, he's still right there behind Tyreman. And now Bennett right behind, and got Brad Newman. He's going to be bringing it down this time by.
There you go,
like you said, Paul.
93, 94.
Yep.
Mate.
You called it perfectly.
Tank in that truck's going to be pretty much on fumes, I'd say. So, based on that, probably the next 4 laps we'll see Holdsworth in the pit lane as well.
Yeah, we'll see if he's been able to. This will help him claw a little bit of pace back in this final run.
Looks like he's getting a little bit of a slide through those corners as well.
Yeah, I thought I saw that. I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe that 8-truck isn't on cruise control after all. He might still be pushing for all it's worth, or all its holds worth. Thank you, I'll be here all week. Oh boy. As Ryan Barber is bringing it down. So he did a little bit of a similar strategy to Newman, but he was able to stretch in extra couple laps, hoping that it will help him out a little bit, but he still needs that caution. Retirement's starting. Oh, go on, Paul.
I reckon we're going to see pit road start lighting up next lap from here on.
Yeah, I reckon lap 100 is going to be a busy place. Andy Barber going to bring it in. Good timing for Andy. Tireman was starting to catch him up. And it looks like
sticking it out another lap, so maybe he's saved a little bit of fuel as well.
maybe is your Quijo bringing it down. Go for a little bit of an overcut on Holdsworth. Undercut, I mean. Yeesh. On
time
board
round
with
he's
Peter
in.
Jones.
The race leader Holdsworth in the pit lane this time.
Yep. Yeah, Mark Grocott copped himself a black flag.
Phelps with the black flag too.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that is heartbreaking for Phelps and his hopes of the championship. Yep, there goes Kobe's pick up in flames.
Well, boys, you two got to start getting better at this. Like, this is going to be 2 to me, and it's the first week of being here for the trucks, so I'm going to be 1 apiece. I'm going to have to come back next week just for a pick.
Yep, green flag pit cycles are about to finish. Jason Holdsworth back on track. Good entry into the box for the 83. Platinum Boys are off of pit road, the 82 and the 242. And once again, Brad Newman will be ahead of Jason Holdsworth with less than 40 to go.
Can he try and hold on to that lead's the big question now.
He's gonna fight tooth and nail trying to hold off that 8. Yeah, this is
6 lap difference there in tires between them as well.
Yeah, it's 6 laps is a lot around here. We see battle for P8. The leaders aren't far away from this. Well, after our what should be our final round of pit stops, I think it's time that we take a breath and take a break, and we will be back with you shortly.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Ladies and gentlemen, ready for countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Man, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Ooh.
These go to 11.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
And we are back, and you saw it in the side-by-side. We had a change for the lead. Jason Holdsworth gets by Brad Newman and back into the lead of this race. See Holdsworth on those pressure tires getting a good run off turn 2. Able to close up, massive speed through the center for Holdsworth. Side by side with Brad Newman, and he's going to carry the momentum all the way through. Clears that 33 and sets sail. Holdsworth continuing to put on a clinic tonight.
Coming up to 20 to go there, and still pulling away. Extended that gap to 6 seconds over Newman. Newman still trying to hold on to that second spot. Loggy trying to chase him down.
Yeah, Quizzo also on the fresher tires, trying to use them to his advantage and get back into the P2 spot. Newman still holding good pace though compared to our fourth place runner Matty Raymond, so he shouldn't be too worried about falling off of the podium steps. But that 42 is coming with a high rate of steam, trying to wrestle second place back from Brad Newman. Grigio going high, going low, diving to the inside of 33. And Newman, once again, business decision. Blocky or Quizzo moving up back into P2. In 7 seconds in the distance of Jason Holdsworth.
Well, if it was hard before to chase him down, it's going to be even harder now with 20 laps to go and that gap almost pushing out to 8 seconds now. So I don't think anyone's going to be able to chase down Jason tonight.
Yeah, Holdsworth has continued to just build pace. Like, he's just added to this lead all night. You know, you wondered if Equizio might be able to make some sort of run at him when we started the second stint, but then Holdsworth just kept putting in fast lap after fast lap, and now he's got a massive, almost 8-second lead to play with less than 20 laps to go.
Oh, man, you've got that gap. You know you got the pace. You know, gonna have a little bit of fun. Close up half of that gap at least, and put the foot back down again. Have a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah, because you never know. You're gonna have, I believe, about 18 laps to go at the line, so anything can happen in 18 laps. As Tyreman and Bennett, they're running close to each other. Half a second separates teammates. Good run for both of these two. Bennett, who qualified in the top 5, trying to run his teammate down and take over P7. As Shane Bowen is actually a good amount away in the distance. Wasn't too long ago that we saw Bowen and Tyreman going at it and Bowen almost spinning, and now Shane Bowen is 2 seconds ahead of these guys.
Just watching Matty Ray's closing that gap on Brad Newman at the moment as well for P3.
Yeah, you are right. I thought Newman wasn't going to have anything to worry about. You know, when we saw him and Urquizo fighting, it was still about like a 4-second gap Newman had over Raymond. Now, all of a sudden, Matty Ray has run down Brad Newman.
Well, I think Matty Ray's got probably the freshest tyres out of everyone out there. I think he ran the longest on those tyres, so he's got a big advantage there.
7 laps, right you are, Paul. And there's the difference in tires, folks. Raymond getting ever closer to that 33. Newman holding the middle line. Raymond ran a little lower, and he's going to have a big run coming on the 33. Matty Raymond to the inside. And he's going to clear him into turn 1. Yeah, Newman just doesn't have the rubber to fight back. Matty Raymond up into P3.
Yeah, nice move there. 13 to go. 12 to go now as we just tick over. We'll see if Matty Ray can close that gap on his teammate, Lachlan, now.
Yeah, he's not that far from Uprijo, only maybe a second and a half. Whoa, big sideways from Brad Newman. He had to correct that thing pretty heavily off of turn 2.
I think Matty Ray just wanted to join us in the booth again after the race.
Apparently.
Mid-race, and he wanted to come back.
Yeah, I guess he really enjoyed talking with us that much. I don't know why, but hey, whatever floats your boat. As Ben Henniker starting to... Oh, got a battle between Barber and Bowen for the last spot in the top 5.
Bowen's got to get through Peter Jones first. Some lap traffic to try and get to Barber. He's going to make that big dive in now, and that's a big send into that one. Almost closing up the gap on Andy Barber as well, but not quite.
I think Andy might have got the wall off of 4. He had a huge moment, had to save that 5. As Bowen is still fighting with Jones, now Jones gives way, and Bowen is free to run down the 5 of Andy Barber. I tell you, it was a bit of a struggle for that 38 in the middle of this race, but since we started this final stint, he's really found something, and he's put up some serious lap time trying to get back into the top 5 after a fantastic P3 in qualifying.
Looking ahead, Holdsworth's coming through the lap traffic at the moment. He's got Colin Bennett just in front of him, and then Jason Tyman a little bit further up. Trying to navigate through, keep that pace going, not slow down. He's almost 9-second gap now over Lachlan.
Yeah, he can afford to take his time through the lap cars right now.
Sure, when you've got that lead and trying to navigate through lap traffic, you don't want to lose the pace you've got, but you don't want to come unstuck as well, and have a little oopsie moment with some of the lap traffic as well.
Yeah, the last thing you want if you're Jason Oldsworth is a caution, and the last thing you want is to be the one responsible for that caution.
Bennett just scraping the wall there into one as well. In front of Holdsworth.
Yeah, yep, that's what you want to see as race leader. Bowen and Barber continue the battle, and Tyreman and Bennett are not that far away. They are a second and a half back themselves. So if Bowen and Barber start fighting a little too hard, they're going to have some extra challengers on the scene.
We've just got a handful of laps to go now, James. So everyone pushing hard, trying not to lose position. But Bowen getting pretty close to Andy Barber at the moment.
That they are still plenty to play for everyone on this track. Oh, they are so close. Look at that. about a truck length, maybe more. Not even a full-size truck. Just you can only fit a Ford Ranger in between those two. Yeah, they were pushing it. You saw some sparks coming off of the wall as we are 5 laps to go from Kentucky. 4 to go. Hey, it was still 5 when I said it, all right? It was still 5 when I said it. That's all that matters.
I beg to differ on that one.
Anyways, what a crossover. Going to the inside of Barber. Does Barber have anything left on that top side? 3 laps to go. There, I did it early. Y'all can shut up. Anyways. And he's got the move done. Shane Bowen back into the top 5. And go on, Paul.
Yeah, so I was just looking, and yeah, I don't think Matty Ray's going to be able to chase down Lockie in the amount of laps that are left.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Ryan and Bennett, though, they're locked into each other as well. Pretty close, but again, 2 laps to go. Don't know if Colin Bennett's going to have enough to have a run here.
Yeah, time is running out as Jason Holdsworth will take the white flag. 1 lap to go. An unbelievable drive for Jason Holdsworth. He started on the pole and just ran away with it. Newman couldn't hold on. Urquijo couldn't hold on. But Holdsworth is going to go on. Hold on. Out of turn 4, Jason Holdsworth wins at Kentucky. Fantastic drive from the 8. Dominant performance from Jason Holdsworth as Urquijo will hang on to P2, and Matty Raymond will bring it home to round out the top 3. And here comes Bennett side by side with Tyreman. Tyreman's going to have the momentum off of the corner. I think he's going to pull at the line. Oh my goodness, that was so close. Wow, Jason Tyreman will hold on to P7. Bennett gave it everything he could, but just couldn't get his teammate. And here are your results for tonight. Your race winner, Jason Holdsworth from Lockie Urquijo and Matty Raymond. Brad Newman and Shane Bowen will round out your top 5. Andy Barber, Jason Tyreman, Colin Bennett, Ben Henniker, and Ryan Barber rounding out your top 10. And Ruben Phelps finishing 11th. Peter Jones in 12th. Brian Blundell 13th. Mark Grocott 14th. Brad Patton 15th. And Brad Wright in 16th. All right, we're going to one last time tonight take a break and take a breath, and we'll be back soon.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
and we are back with our third place finisher, and we're back with him again. Matty Raymond bringing home P3. How was it out there, Matty?
It was a tough, bit of a long night, to be honest. It was alright. It wasn't that bad, but yeah, to call the track temps, we missed the setup a little bit because we've been practicing. We set the car up for a lot more slicker, sort of daylight sort of racing, and yeah, being a night race, the track cooled off enough where it just caught us out a little bit. So I got real tight, real quick, and was just chasing the racetrack pretty well all night. It wasn't until the last stop I took a bit out of the left side tyres and made a couple more perch adjustments just to take some wedge out of it and free it up, and yeah, it finally come pretty good and starting to get somewhere, but it just ran out of laps really. But no, apart from that, great race. Yeah, good fun. It's always good fun racing all these guys. So.
Yeah, what is it like having to make those last minute setup changes?
Oh, horrible, because I don't really know what I'm doing. Nah, it's just, like when it comes to racing these things, you don't know what you got until you've done 20 laps, or, once the trucks come in, so to speak. So you're not going to know and if you're tight or loose until you get 15, 20 laps in and the rear end's coming around. And then, like I said, you just sort of spend, unless you get a bit lucky sort of thing on your adjustments, most of the time you spend the rest of the race just catching it. So, or trying to catch up with it. But no, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It was just as soon as the front end went away, I just couldn't turn it, and it just didn't have any pace. So yeah, it's just a case of just looking after it, get back to the pit lane, and keep working on it all night and see how you go. But no, we finally got there and ended up picking up a couple of spots. So no, not a bad night all in all.
Yeah, and Kentucky is probably one of the last places you want to be dealing with a tight truck, huh?
Oh yeah, especially 3 and 4. That turn I hate with a passion. So yeah, when she don't want to steer into that one, it's just a little bit frustrating. Sort of close your eyes and either see Jesus or the checkered, as they say.
Yeah, you go into the corner, pick a god, and pray. But fantastic run tonight, Matty. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, of course, man. We got, yourself and TWRS, of course, for helping us out. They provided us again with another bullet set. It was just us missing the mark a little bit. And we got Scotch Race Fuels, Cut 6 Sticker Co., Ray, or Moondog as they call him, at Moondog 56. And then a couple of charities we always like to give a bit of a shout out for is Tourette Syndrome and the Alopecia Foundation Australia. And of course, Inside Lane, all you guys are putting on the broadcast. James and Shawnee tonight, or he was, and Paul, and everyone that helps out. So, yeah, no, thanks to all you guys and giving us something to watch later.
Alrighty, we appreciate you, Matty, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, eh? Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. And there's third place finisher Matty Raymond, and tossing it to Paul for P2.
Alrighty, P2 going to Lachlan Urquio tonight. How you going, Lachlan?
A bit rough, but no, it's a good result tonight. Yeah.
We had a pretty good start and managed to chase down and get a good result. So can't complain with that. Obviously, it was a bit of a hard task trying to chase down Holdsworth tonight.
Yeah, Jason was on another level tonight. Props to him. He's done a fantastic job with that one and outschooled us all on that one tonight. But no, it was. I'm happy enough with P2. I've been a bit crook this week, so it's nice to get a good result back this one and have another crack next week.
That's all right. Well, I'll take P2 for you as well because I'm claiming P2 as a win for a pick tonight over these boys.
Oh, always. Did you put your money on me, did you?
Yeah. And I'm going to rub it in on both of them as well because I got the pick last week, which actually won, and I'll take P2 as a win tonight as well for a pick. So I'm 2 up on them both now. So
is it forget putting money on black, put it on blue?
Yeah. put it on whoever. Well, last week was green, so you know.
Yeah, no, but no, tonight was it was a good race. It's nice to go green the whole way around a track like that. Really lets you put a little bit of head down and put a bit of effort into making sure you hit nail every single corner. And it's always fun seeing the comers and goers as well. So it's a good race. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, nice, and yeah, did a good job, and yeah, good results. So can't complain, and take that. But we'll let you have a shout out to sponsors.
Big thanks to the team, Matty Ray and the boys there. Always big support in the background. They were really good tonight and adapting to the late weather change. So did a good job as a group. So we come together, and obviously the TWRS guys giving us something to work with tonight. Didn't quite have the speed for Jason, but it was still a really solid setup that gave us something to work with for sure. And then obviously to Gutsy Sticker Co and Scotcher Race Fuels that are looking after us this year. They've come on board, been a great help out as well.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Lachlan, and good job on P2 tonight. We'll let you go and celebrate.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, mate. Well, there you go, James. That's P2. We'll pass it back to you for our race winner tonight.
Yes, sir. Jason Holdsworth. James, you got a copy?
Got you loud and clear.
Well, what a run tonight. Just take us through it. You saw a whole lot of clean track all night, really.
Yeah, probably I was the only person that put on the Texas set, like a nighttime 1.5 mile set, because the officials were much warmer. I think they're about 40 degrees warmer track temp, probably 15 air. So I just went in a total different direction, I think, to everybody. And it was the right one for a change. Usually it's the wrong one.
Yeah, take us through that move to completely change the setup right before the race. How nerve-wracking it is doing that, knowing that this might end bad.
It's not that nerve-wracking, to be honest. Like, it was a Texas setup, so the tracks are fairly similar in how you drive it, and I just ran it through Motec quickly to make sure the splitter was sealed. Nothing funky was happening, so it wasn't too much of a risk. Obviously, I didn't know what I was going to do in the long run, but like, I didn't want to drive, a plow through the whole race, so I didn't want to use the website set for the officials this week.
Yeah, and take us through your pit strategy choices, because when you're as dominant as you were tonight, how hard is it to avoid overthinking on the pit strategy and maybe doing something that might not work?
I didn't. I knew I had the speed over Newman. I knew I had the speed over everyone, so I just ran it dry both times, just in case, something happened. So I was one of the last to pit, hopefully both times. And didn't really put, as I said, much thought in it, just because I did have the speed, so I didn't have to do anything brave.
Yeah, and had the speed you did. That was one of the more dominating performances we've seen in this series. Any sponsors, plugs, and shouts you'd like to give?
Yeah, naturally JT from Nitro Racing. That was his Texas set that we killed it that week, and obviously works at Kentucky at night, so thank you to JT. And the wider Nitro crew as well. Obviously they teach me a fair bit and yell at me for when I do things wrong, so thank you to all of them.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you, Jason, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Thanks, guys. You wrote it to road course. I'm terrible.
You never know. Brad might drop connection or something.
Trust me, there's probably about 10 other drivers that would beat me on a road course here.
Well, if we're not talking to you again next week, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again 2 weeks after.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. And there's our race winner, Jason Holdsworth. And, well, how about it, Paul? It was a pretty good race tonight.
Yeah, green flag, 140 laps out in Kentucky, and a bit of a slog for the boys to get through it. But, you know, hats off to Holdsworth. He led the way there and didn't look back. And, yeah, a bit of a hard task for everyone else to try and chase them down. And, yeah, couldn't get that job done tonight. So, yeah, good job to Jason on that one.
Yes, sir. And, well, I believe that does it for us tonight. So it's time we bid you adieu, and we'll see you next week at Watkins Glen International. Have a good night, everyone.